is AV SuperFriends Off the Rails, an almost regularly scheduled open discussion on audio and video in higher education. We'll sound off about our most brilliant ideas, our dumbest mistakes, and everything in between. And because this conversation will almost certainly go off the rails at some point, we'll end up covering just about everything else. And now, the AV SuperFriends. For October 8, 2025, it's the best sounding and most begrudgingly scheduled podcast in higher ed. This is the AV SuperFriends Off the Rails episode number 125. That's a lot of them.
That's a nice round number. 125. It's kind of round.
Sort of roundish. It's in the quarters. So, well, good morning, good afternoon, and whatever time it is when you realize, wait a second, we're recording and streaming this on the wrong day. Well, if you think about it, the weather's changing, schedules are shifting, and just like the leaves, our guests keep blowing in from completely different directions. So scheduling people is difficult. So
there is. Fall's
here. The calendar's confused. My coffee has been reheated at least twice. So grab your pumpkin spice patch cable, plug into your nearest network switch, and hold on to your butts, because you're tuned in for another Friday afternoon podcast adventure.
Wednesday.
On a Wednesday.
Afternoon.
With the AV SuperFriends.
You put ice in the coffee. It's now iced coffee. And
then it gets watery coffee.
Well, it's worth more. You can now sell it.
You have more coffee that is worth more.
And eventually it becomes room temperature, watered down coffee that you find in like 3 hours.
It all ends up being the same. It all goes down the drain.
All goes into the drain.
Exactly. Making its way.
Anyway, so let's say hello to today's. Our first panelist manages the art and science of hanging TVs in ways that inspire learning outcomes. He's an associate director of pedagogical display solutions from Kansas City. Say hello to Mr. Jamie Reinhardt.
I have found the best way is just put it flat on the tabletop, so when they lay their head down for a nap, they're soaking it all in.
That was a lot. That was a lot of words.
Strange, right?
That's like word salad.
Yeah. Oh. Jamie doesn't.
No, don't need to.
Our
just
next
lay them
panelist
flat.
leads initiatives to replace. All right, hold on. Our next panelist leads initiatives to replace legacy experience with newer legacy experiences. He's a director of experiential infrastructure modernization for Vallis, Oregon. Say hello to Mr. Mark Cole.
You're going to be amazed when we look back on how we're doing this today. It's going to seem exactly the same as it was when we did it yesterday.
No, but it has to be newer.
Yeah, soon to be old.
Our next panelist has been making PowerPoint look like innovation since 2011. He's a senior specialist for instructional enablement systems, Greensboro, North Carolina. Say hello to Mr. Larry.
PowerPoint has Copilot now. That is innovation.
That was very forceful, Larry.
I'm just saying it is.
Tried it? What's it do?
Yeah, well, no, we don't do that. We don't actually use it. We just,
but it's there.
That's an extra $200. Create me a slide. Would you like it to be 4:3? Of course.
Our next panelist measures productivity in vibes, meetings attended, and dashboard created. He's a vice president for integrated user success outcomes from Bowling Green, Kentucky. Say hello to Mr. Justin Rexing.
Yeah, our users ooze success.
Among other things, apparently.
Yeah, they're just full of success.
And finally, we're joined by a special guest panelist who ensures that meetings fail equally across all platforms. He's a coordinator of distributed collaboration environments from Dallas, Texas. Say hello to Mr. Chris Scott.
Equal opportunity.
Chris, you sure you want to hang out with us?
Absolutely.
It's this for an hour and a half.
Work from home, baby. Let's do it.
Hour and a half.
This for the next hour. Okay. No. So on today's show, we're going to discuss what to do when everything on a project just seems to go wrong. And we're going to discuss mixed-use rooms that seem to need surrounding sound. But first, let's do a little bit of housekeeping. If you are catching this live as a recorded MP3, remember we do stream live most Fridays. And I say most Fridays because today's Wednesday. But usually most Fridays at about 3:15 Eastern, 12:15 Pacific, or whenever we get our act together. Yeah, you can join us for that on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, and we can. And no, you can't join us for that live on Blue Sky because they don't do streaming.
Are they even still
follow us on Blue Sky?
Is that going on still?
There's 3 people on Blue Sky for the 3 of you on Blue Sky. If you can't make it live, please do follow us on their socials on Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Blue Sky, and all that fun stuff. So there you go. If you have a topic that you want us to tackle, if you want us to look into something, or you want to just yell about things, please send us an email at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com or hit us up on the aforementioned socials. While you're at it, please rate and review this nonsense on YouTube, Spotify, Apple Podcast, wherever you're listening to this. Please go in and leave a rating, preferably a positive one, but be honest.
Anything works.
That helps because the more activity that ratings get see, it moves it up in the algorithm, and more people who didn't mean to will inadvertently click on the link, and then they will download and listen
Would
to
that
the
work the other
podcast.
way? If we were just so terrible, maybe we
I
are.
think that's.
Like that would be shocking too. They're just like, oh man, have you heard
think
the
we're-
worst?
I think we're there.
Ever? Check this out.
That's.
Sound good, but
Yeah.
worse content.
Horrible.
And finally,
Yeah.
please go out and spread the word about this. Share with your friends, colleagues, enemies, AV consultants, integrators, manufacturer representatives, anyone who might have anything to do
Or
with
maybe
this.
just not sharing with the consultants. Just
Why?
not.
No, they need
That could be useful.
the more people listen, the more
realize.
likely we'll keep doing this nonsense, and eventually we'll do something worthwhile. But for now, it's just more of this stuff. All right, so there you go. And now that you've waited for it all week, you get to hear Justin sing along.
Here we go.
Wait a minute. Hold on. I
Uh-oh.
screwed up. Let's take a quick break.
Do,
Jamie's freaking out over there.
I was like,
Get the house.
Hold your horses, Justin. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to do some Halloween themed stuff here, so Jamie doesn't murder me from telling him out of order here. Or not. So, all right, back in 38 seconds.
He waits in the shadows of network closets. He stalks the hallways and forgotten classrooms. And he has only one target: obsolete electronics. They call him the Ether Killer Lines. One jolt, and the zombie Blu-ray player finally stays down. No mercy for mixers. No parole for 360 cameras. Ether Killer doesn't just end life cycles. He leaves nothing but e-waste corpses. The Ether Killer. Old hardened amalgam.
So there goes your ETH killer
Are we having
out there to
qualitative
get rid of your
streaming
old
problems,
stuff.
Larry?
So many. Yeah, there's lots of drops
Really?
Yeah.
From me or from everybody?
from everybody. So it's an equal opportunity drop. So
Well, all right. Thank you, StreamYard, for your inability to actually create a stream. It's in your name. So work on it.
well, Wednesday is a known heavy hotbed of streaming activity.
is it?
Allegedly.
I thought you were being serious.
I make shit up.
I think
all
you're
the
full of
time.
shit. Yep, full of shit.
All right. So now you waited all week for you get to hear Justin sing along with our theme song here.
Oh, do.
Yeah. By the way, Larry, interestingly enough, neither of the two computers I'm on right now have that little, like, your StreamYard link is poor. So
No, none of us are claiming on this side that things are bad. It's post.
apparently it's just Larry.
I don't know because you guys don't let me in the back end
Don't worry about what's
administrative.
going on back here.
Don't
Don't worry about it, man.
You have to see the outboard stream.
I'm like the outsider. Like I'm not allowed in, and there's like they got all these buttons and gadgets
Just
and
not the
tools. I'm
back
just
end.
like, I don't, somebody let me in, and it's like this whole thing. Y'all are really missing out. It's really a.
You were not given consent to come in the back end.
And am I paying for the bill out of my account that I'm not allowed in? Is that
It's
right?
not your account.
It is now because you're not here on Fridays.
All right.
All right. So
Moving on.
And the news.
the news, it's not a news story, and I couldn't find the news
No,
story.
there was no news. It was just
Yeah.
like, by the way,
It's a product announcement, and we're not covering it from the standpoint of this is a cool product sort of thing, as much as because we don't generally do that sort of as a news story, but the ramifications of said product announcement. So this is the Zoom announcement. This is the Zoom video management platform. Okay, that sounds fine. Zoom can do video. Yeah, we get that. No. Panopto, Kaltura, Yuja. This is a shot right across the bow of every one of those. It is full feature. It brings all the Zoom stuff that comes with your Zoom rooms, and it works with non-Zoom rooms as well. It has basic editing, all the stuff that you get in the other ones, but obviously very tight integration with Zoom, and best part, FTI integration across the board for all of your learning management systems, Sakai, Canvas, D2L, whatever you're doing, Blackboard. so there are permissions things with that. I was on a webinar for this the other day. They spent a huge amount of time covering the LMS and LPI permissions. So Mark, we can figure already because you probably hear Raul in the other room shouting about that's not what it means.
But no, it does.
I think this, as a 1.0 product, this will grow into it. I think the real interesting thing about this is I think clearly Zoom was leaving money on the table by immediately shipping all this stuff to some other platform, keep it all in our platform, and still integrate with your learning management system. Seems like a win-win to me. Thoughts?
I think that's the baseline, like welcome mat. I don't know if that's really. I think this is more of an AI play, and you all can plug your ears. But from what I'm seeing in this marketing material, this is really showcasing the transcript pieces, the summaries, all the other search engagement, the tagging, all of that additional stuff.
The automatic summaries,
is really what this
templates,
is.
all that stuff. And they spent a huge amount of time.
Yes.
So if you get a chance to sit in on this, they spent a huge amount of time on that style of stuff. So all those, to your point, all that ancillary stuff that comes with Zoom meetings, calls, now all that, apply that to your entire like learning management system video library. And all the quizzes, all of that stuff dumps right in. So they're basically building on top of their existing platform and then integrating with your.
Because I think that's the whole secret sauce here, is that you need all that data context. No, okay, I will be wrong. Go ahead.
No,
you said no. I was curious because
you said no.
Well, you said no. I was saying, why are you saying no? Because I was going to say, as a campus that's moving off of Panopto, that had all those features because of the cost. I think the ease that this integrates and the way that they're handling the cost of their storage is going to be enticing to a lot of schools out there.
I agree. I think the hardest part of this right now are for those who've already made decisions and have one of these other service providers.
Like jumping into Teams room too fast
no,
because you're in the
maybe,
Northwest.
But even if you're anywhere, I think this is perfect for the schools that maybe couldn't go out and do the Kaltura thing or the Panopto thing, but they've been using Zoom. Now this gives them a whole bunch of additional feature set that, from what I see, is every bit as good and as powerful. It gives them that AI strategy, all that piece baked in, or maybe once before they weren't tall enough to ride that ride. Maybe this is now their gateway to actually start making use of that. And I don't know, like it's super cool and super intriguing to me.
I think Mark's talking about us.
I'm not pointing any fingers.
What are you guys on?
It would be easy. It would be easy. We're right in the middle of trying to figure out what our lecture capture system is going to be because we've had a site and we're trying to figure out how to
to be clear,
not do that anymore.
This is being positioned as a lecture capture. It will do that.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying is maybe we can explore leveraging this and not
because you can
go
use
into
Zoom to be your lecture capture to start with.
Well, yeah, but that's a little bit of a training
this
and
is all the
adoption
back-end
thing.
stuff.
So that's what we do. I would say most of our Zooms that are happening in classrooms are single-person Zooms with just the instructor, the camera.
See, that's smart.
And that's what we want. People, I think, overlook and automatically assume, well, if I'm doing Zoom, that implies I have distance students. It's like, no, you need the camera and microphone just to capture what's going on, analytics, all that summary and stuff to feed that AI monster. That's the play of this to me.
Yeah. And you might have distance students. It just might not be asynchronous course. And when I say asynchronous,
it might not be
yes. You need to spell out your
exactly. But like,
so yeah, I got you. We're with you. So I don't know. I this is like the consolidation of service, right? And yeah, I think if I was a Kaltura, Panopto, or one of those other like ancillary providers of media storage, now arguably they're doing the same kind of stuff, but I think we're all looking for more elegant approaches and where we can kind of collapse down some of that piece. And this is hard to not look at.
Well, so my question is, what about the flip side? So we're using the Panopto integration. At some point, do you think Zoom will start turning off the taps users towards their video management platform?
Do you know something we don't?
I could see them taking like a mic.
Who do you know?
I could see them taking like a Microsoft approach, We're saying, hey, we're going to give you this, but this many queries per year, you're good for this point. But if you go over that, it's going to be a different cost model, right? And so we're not just going to let you do it for free anymore on the API.
Yeah, because I mean, as you said, if they're number one, trying to bring the small schools, pardon me, those who you hit the nail on the head, who weren't big enough to ride the ride, they're going to get some early adopters, right? But how what are they going to do duration? And I'm sure your users are just like my users. They don't like change. They don't like learning new things, right? This is how I get out of my way. And so, how is Zoom going to change my users and push them to that platform?
And I think that's the secret of the LTI, right? It's like we're all looking at our LMS as like the gateway to access our media and all of our course materials. It needs to align with those workflows very clean right now, so that there's like very little hiccups. Like, I don't think the users care where the storage of their media sits. All they want to know is that when I go to my class, my page, it's there as the link works, right? And then you have all those additional features that they're addressing that. Like, hey, here it is. It works very clean with these things, so you should see minimal disruption in kind of your workflow. So I think they've done a lot of the due diligence, and those that have been close enough to know about Zoom have kind of sensed that this was coming over the last couple of months. It just wasn't the big announcement ever made. I don't know if there really was a big announcement. This might be one of those secret things that are just going to... Jamie, you're all in, right?
I got nothing.
So, do y'all remember?
I mean, we have...
Way to contribute, Jamie.
It takes a person out of the step here. I mean, for us, they're already using Zoom or Panopto to record lecture capture and or calls of some sort, right? And it gets so much storage in Zoom, and then it pumps over to Panopto, and then automatically. So we're just taking out a middleman. Now, what's it suck for? Anybody that signed a contract within the last 6 months with one of these other providers,
it pays off to delay those decisions.
But honestly,
just keep delaying, and then something else comes along, and you're like, "Hey, look at this!"
Ever
never make a decision.
I actually see some benefits in it. And as far as folks, one of the things that we consistently battle, my department really doesn't deal with the Zoom and licensing and everything else. It's there, it's provided. We need to know how to use it. Provide video and audio, and let's just go. But I think one of the things we continuously have to train people on is if they want to use Panopto for their classroom capture, it's a different software, a different step. And every Zoom is ubiquitous now. Everybody knows how to use it. And if you're on a different computer than the one that's provided, how can you still, or your iPad, how can you get Panopto on your iPad to connect to your... It's just done. It's federated. It's on the SS. I think Zoom's got some interesting things going on with it. They had their Zoomtopia not too long ago.
And they technically announced it there, but it was they're kind of sandbagging the announcement, in my opinion, on this one.
I think
they didn't come out guns blazing.
So for me, it came out, and we'll see how it impacts. But in these... Going forward, we all know that our schools, our universities, businesses, everybody's going to be looking at contracts. They're going to be looking at budgetary impacts. They're going to be.
I don't know the cost
at
the scale. If it is 1-to-1, like I'm really intrigued on like what that storage costs and that usage kind of piece. But
and I think the AI part is absolutely right on. I think now they can leverage their own algorithms inside their own little thing, and you're not parsing that out to another third. It's easier for them to sell.
Did anybody...
word security? It's easier for them to sell that.
Anybody else pick up on that?
I'm not going to say anything.
Jamie said something positive about AI.
I was going to say that, but they're going to
That's how it starts. So it's like that scene in
It's
Star
not
Trek
that I don't
2,
have
the
anything
Norman
positive
issue.
about AI. It's just I'm not using it very much.
Yeah, but I think you're going to see a lot of universities. They're going to have to come out and say, well, what's your AI strategy, and how are you addressing AI in the learning space? This is almost a way to get out of jail free here for folks to say, oh, well, we have it right here, right? Bang, here's transcripts. We're using it, and we're bringing it to the forefront. And my guess is you will see the model grow. You will see more capability. You'll see integrations with the big models, whether it be Claude or GPT or whatever. You're going to see it in this, right? Yeah, whatever, right? It's going to be in there. Or maybe they'll give you the option to use your federated one of choice as an API MCP play. I don't know, but it's going to grow. This is setting the stage for that. I think it's a slight tweak of what they've already had and just kind of refined it and rolled it out. So I think it's good on them for being able to rethink what they currently have and kind of redress it and spruce it up a little bit.
Yeah, and so I guess, and I didn't bring this up at the outset, but like my interest in this, and Chris, you brought it up, like faculty don't like change. They'll figure out their workflows. They're experts in their field. They begrudgingly deal with the IT stuff because they have to, but they don't want to focus on that. They get that out of my way. Let me do my teaching.
Yeah, I got these
and
slides,
everyone's
these
comfortable
slides
with
in 76. I'm not updating them right now.
Well, and everyone got comfortable with Zoom a couple of years ago. They were legally required to get comfortable with Zoom. So everyone knows, okay, there's a red button, I can click record, or if I'm in a Zoom room, it can automatically start recording. But it's like that delivery side where it shows up in my Canvas shell, in my Blackboard course, it shows up in my Sakai instance, wherever that is. As long as I can go to the thing that says videos, and I can find my video, oh, there's my video from this morning, post, let me write up some questions for it.
Done.
If that's there and that workflow is, let's say 90% the same, I think we'll be okay. If that workflow is dramatically different, then there's going to be major problems with it. And I think Zoom is well aware of that and working on it. So I'm cautiously optimistic that workflow will streamline. And right now it will save us a step because for us, it's you click in Zoom, it goes to the temporary Zoom storage, it gets moved over to UJA. There's like that extra intermediary step. If this removes one of those, even if that process is a little bit different, but it removes one of those steps, then I think everybody's happy.
Yeah, simplify it. Elegance.
And then you get all the Zoom stuff, the AI summaries, the whiteboarding, all the stuff you get in Zoom is now part of your course materials, which is kind of interesting.
Sounds like we need to buy Zoom.
You keep saying that.
Everyone buys it. Yeah.
Does AVSF have a stock?
We don't.
No,
I mean,
no,
no.
No, we're not going public. No.
All
no,
right.
We need to
You
invest.
get to ring the bell.
Yeah,
This is
diversify our holdings.
escalating way too quickly. We gotta simmer down a little
Okay,
bit.
we're over time. Moving on.
Yeah.
All right. Any other thoughts on video platforms, delivery, lecture capture, or anything? So I will say they did bring up, because the question came up, and like, does it work with my appliances, my Epifans, my Panoptos, my
No.
who's the other? Not Panopto. Extron, and what's the other one that starts with an S? I'll think of it in a minute. Anyway, the answer is yes, it does. You can as long as you can set up those permissions, it can still deliver to that. So I think they're aware of all the boxes they need to tick. So at least they come out with a 1.0 that's full featured or
stop using boxes.
Kind of seems like this industry is going to where universities are going to be like a Microsoft or Zoom campus.
We already are.
I mean, everybody uses Microsoft to some
We
degree,
refer
right?
to like
But
our first season of shows we did. Like we
But now
explored
this
that
is
whole
well, I
thing.
thought Zoom was kind of going away. It's like they haven't really done anything in a while. Their stock has been going down. We haven't talked a lot about them. They haven't released any new stuff, and then here they are, kind of like, oh, now it's pretty big news.
So
Kind of
Seneca.
forecasting
That
the
was the
future.
Jonathan Seneca.
Searching boxes.
10 minutes ago, Justin said, should we buy Zoom stock? Now he goes on saying it's been going down.
Well, I was asking. So you've been set. It's been
Right for the
going down.
This is
picking,
not
man.
professional
Start
investment
So
advice.
buy low,
He's driving it down so he can buy early in the
buy
morning.
low,
Oh, yeah.
sell high, projecting
Is that what I've been
forward.
doing wrong?
It's not
Okay.
hard. It's easy.
All right, let's take a quick
Anyways,
break. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We're going to talk about projects going awry and all that fun stuff.
oh great.
The AV SuperFriends are sponsored by Computer Comforts Incorporated. CCI has been building tech furniture for the education market since 1987. Instructor lecterns, computer lab tables, collaborative tables, and active learning collectors are just a few of the many innovative products made by CCI. Speaking of lecterns, Computer Comforts has just released Evolve. If you're looking to future-proof your classroom, Evolve is the Swiss Army knife of lecterns. Seriously, this flexible lectern does it all. Not only is Evolve sit to stand and ADA compliant, it's also packed with tech-friendly features. And the best part, it ships fully assembled and ready for action. Check out the 90-second video to see all the options. Visit computercomforts.com/evolve. Oy, oy, oy. Let's see this one, right? Page.
Topic 1 starts now.
So topic 1. What happens when projects don't go well? What happens when we get handed a project that's in flight? Things haven't been fully well thought out. Over there, what the heck is this thing? Why is that over here in this spot?
This is a pretty broad.
Justin, do you want to maybe give us a...
No.
I prepped him this morning. Justin, can you give us a 5-minute version?
So,
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
No, he's been muted.
60 seconds.
this is what I mean by them,
All right, I'll let him
gaslighting me and keeping me out of the admin panel. So part of this, and I don't think everybody on this call thinks that this is important based on prior conversations. Maybe Chris does.
Dinner.
Wait,
Chris
what?
is, but you other
I don't know what it is yet.
1, 2, 3, 4. You other 4, just listen.
Are we picking
So
sides?
when we're talking about what happens when a project goes bad, what are we doing? Yeah, let's see what happens. Just back over. People normally have some kind of control. So there's a big difference here where you know about the project, maybe you don't have input in it, whatever it is, versus having a project where you do care about it, that you want input, but you're told, no, we don't want your input. We don't need you for this project. So that's kind of setting the expectations of, okay, well, the people running this project and the project managers think that they can do this without us and do a better job because we're always the last ones in, so we just get blamed for it. We all know how construction projects work, whether it's really the AV people's fault or not, whatever. So here we are with a building on our campus where we were basically told that we don't need IT. And so time goes on. This has been the course of 2 years. And here we are. And we've had a lot of debates behind the scenes about it, especially Mark and I, about why don't you just go fix it? It's like, well, when you have contracts, let's say school starts and the project's not done. And there's contracts saying that this company has to finish before you can even help. You're not even allowed to self-perform on the job. You are instructed not to go into the building and do any work. So there's not really anything you can do. You have to watch it crumble. Even though you know how to fix it, you could probably fix it one day with you and your team. Or then there's the other projects where you are involved, things go awry, and you jump in because you have stake in the game because you are a true stakeholder. So there's a lot of differences in how you handle those two scenarios and those two projects. How much ownership do you have? Because if you're told the whole time, we don't need you, and then things blow up at the end, and they're still telling you, we don't need you, there's nothing you can do. You just have to watch it burn.
That's you're talking about process, really, right?
It's all about.
Like I said, this is so wide because I think if the public had access to the back channel AVSF drama that it has been unfolding around this project.
You want me to give them access to the back?
No, I don't want to do that because it's ugly. Station of
Do they all
okay.
get on?
Here we are. Classes start tomorrow.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever you just rattled off for the last 3 minutes may be true, may not be true. What actions do you take, whether legal or not? Because I agree with you. Yes, we may have been told in contracts, I don't really give a shit. The instructor is going to show up there tomorrow morning and expect that to turn on, or it's not pretty, and it won't be perfect, and it's going to require people running and jumping through hoops and all these things, and just to accommodate. But I think we navigate that differently, and I think
I completely agree. Like, I think it's because me and Mark come from the production back way to make that event happen.
Let me ask you then these two questions. So if you're in that production, and you see the fire happening on stage, and your boss says, if you touch that, you're fired. What do?
I'm going to save people's lives.
And so you're going to go up there. I'm not literal fire, just an AV nightmare.
I'm going to do what I can to make
You're
it
not
work.
saving lives, so you go make it work, and then you lose your job the next day, and you're okay with that.
I don't think you would have lost your job, but that's a story for a different time. I think the moment that the classes begin, we've taken ownership. The campus is now liable for that whole experience, whether, whatever or not, don't care. Whatever project fumbling happened, and we've been in the exact same boat you've been in, Justin. And we have come in.
So you've been
yes,
told that we don't want your
no.
help or knowledge or
We've been
expertise
told
on
this
this.
is not your scope at all, and you're not doing the build or anything. But we know at the end of the day, the Monday classes begin when the deadline.
So let me
has
ask you this
met
question.
that time,
So
we have
do
to
you-
do something.
Do you
Something,
literally
anything.
do you literally hold the integrator's hand and pull them out of the room and say, "Get my way so I can finish"? Or like,
They're not
how
going
do
to
you
be there at
navigate-
that point anyway.
And I can put a
They're gone.
They're
system
there in the
together
middle of it.
that bypasses their
Yeah.
stuff. if
And
I
that's
have
yes.
to.
So
And that's what we're talking about. We have to run cat cables and extenders and taping them down and providing things. Just to
I mean, I get that,
something
but we
going.
can't do that because the electrical inspector said that we can't by state law. Like we're not
Can't
able
and
to
won't
do that.
are not the same thing.
So
You
it-
won't do
like,
that
we
because
all-
somebody told you you shouldn't.
We all like our
Can't do that
jobs.
is not necessarily true.
We didn't. We were told we weren't needed.
And I think this speaks to like the internal
Yeah.
minutia. And I think Larry and I may be on the same page.
It happens
Yeah, at some point you go,
you're-
just keep
Yeah,
talking.
yeah.
He's going to
Yeah,
drag.
the more you talk,
and
the
that's
less.
why it's interesting because I think your point's 100% valid, Justin, is that there are legal issues that we often will have to confront, and that is contract. And yes, if you go in and you change something, yes, you're giving that integrator an out. I get it. So
Yep.
you have to do what you can to not address what they have done and leave that intact.
Now, if
As wrong as it may be.
WKU and the client said, we are tired, the client being the school that I'm talking about, right? The college, if you will. We are tired of this integration, this whatever's happening. Why is all my stuff not working? Please come help us.
Sure.
We would be the first ones in there helping because now
Yeah.
we're like, you get out of our way so we can come save the day. But that's
And I'll do my
You know,
best now
we-
to come over to your side, Justin, is that sometimes in higher ed, you have to make a very definitive problem. And IT needs a problem so that a project can begin. And so sometimes we have to get through very elaborate things. We've taken ownership of the building and contractually the systems, and we've been consulted and told people what you're going to do will not work. And we've had to take ownership of broken systems. Chris, you lived it
Yeah.
with us. When, in the
and
buildings we
we'll
had.
eventually
It
do
only
that.
took like a
now,
year
whether
to fix
that's
Mark.
Right. And so
whenever that's the warranty goes
you're
out
going to
or
be on both
not,
sides of it.
I don't know.
But at
I mean,
the end of
I
the
don't know
day,
that
leadership
time
often
is.
knows it's a threshold for your leadership to say, I understand the contract and I understand that language is there. However, the impact on student and teaching and experience, that is being compromised way too much right now. We have to
And
do
that happened.
something.
Yeah.
And they still went after the contractor and said, contractor, you
We,
must finish. And they gave them a deadline, and the deadline passed, and nothing happened.
But I think
And
there was an
the
overstep in
manufacturer had
saying
to
you couldn't
fly
do
in.
anything. I think that's a misstep. There's things you could have done.
Oh,
So
I agree with that. There's
the jurisdiction
we
of
could've-
actions were not correct.
We could have fixed it in one day. I know that. 100% fact. We mentioned that. You get them out of our way, we'll go in there and fix it. But we can't have two people working on the same system while they're getting yelled at by people. They're trying to get paid. We're in their way. Two people in one rack. I just don't
I think
understand
temporary measures are one thing.
how that works.
Adjusting other people's work
Yes.
is a different thing.
Yeah.
And that's not. I'm
No,
not
and
saying
that's,
that.
That's where
Right.
what I was going to get into is, I have been in this situation, and I will typically let it burn for a few days, maybe the first week, just so to kind of prove the point of,
I told you. I told you.
yeah, the I
Well,
told
your
you
face.
so.
Yeah.
I mean, sometimes we
Yeah.
have to say I told you so. Like you employ me to be here, to be an expert of this,
To not let this happen.
to not let this happen. And so but in that time, let's say the display's already hung. I've been known to put, like, give them a remote control and an HDMI cable to the second input. And it's just, literally is hanging from the ceiling. That way, we're not screwing with programming, we're not screwing with shape, we're not screwing.
I get
they
it.
can still do something.
I get
And
it.
now I'm quasi-hero, but I've still kind of let it die for, I want some pain to be felt.
Season.
A little bit. But then again, we have to. In your case, like some administrators somewhere said, "By God, we're going to have courses no matter what, hell or high water. This is going to happen." And somebody in your case went through so far as to say, "Stay out of it." You said,
both of those things
and this
happened.
is where the "I told you so" comes in. It's like, well, are you sure? Because I
we
can
are.
do this and we can still hold their feet to the fire. But most of the time, when it gets up to that final date, they've already got 3/4 of the payment. So they're walking away from a quarter
I
of
don't
their
really
payment.
care if they get paid or not. It's not really
Yeah,
what I care
but-
about. It's about this. It's about the
Yeah.
faculty and students, and
It
we're on
is.
the same page with that because you have too many guardrails put up by administration,
Yeah.
and it just
It
So,
becomes
did
a
you ever?
point where
Did you ever?
you start asking them, like we want them to be financially punished. We want to push back on integrator. We want to do this, but it's just not feasible. And sometimes I even said that. It's like, look, how much do you owe them? Well, like 10 grand. Screw it.
yeah. That's, I have no idea what
Let's
those
just
numbers
go,
look like.
because
Yeah,
we're
it's
ruining
nothing, yeah.
courses right now.
So, but in the conversation, Justin, I'm sure
3
chime
years.
in.
Yeah.
It's one thing to point out the problems, and that's great. And then you can seem like the bad guy, right? Oh, this is why IT never gets involved. All they do is come to the table with blah, 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 blah. And you've voiced a lot of that through this journey. But do we all come to the table with solutions?
So I wrote 5,500 words when the design review came through. 5,573.
But that was
I'll never forget
addressing
that number. That's
early
how many words was in my write-up. Problem, solution. Problem, solution. So what they did,
But that's addressing
everywhere
like
that
wholesale
added
design.
scope
Yeah.
and added cost, guess what? Chris knows. Yes, we'll do that. Anything that reduced cost and added efficiency and reduced profit,
Right.
I don't want to do that. And I was like, no, you can't just pick this, not that,
Look at
because now you've got
You
even
gave them a
more
menu.
problems.
I'll take one.
I did. It was just so many
Make more
problems
value.
with that
No,
many
that's not the way.
solutions. One solution per problem
But I'm talking about after the fact. So you saw this
a long
train-
time ago.
or you saw a light
Yeah.
coming in this dark tunnel. And
So
you're
the
like, I think
problem
it's
was,
great.
I don't think
So-
everybody understands
but
the problem.
But
Hold
when
on,
it got
back up.
closer, did you come to the table like, here's how we can remediate to make things functioning right now?
Yeah, I mean,
Not addressing the programmatic
Yeah.
things and all the installation stuff, but we can come in the room in the cloak of darkness in the middle of the night and lay down in a couple of extenders and get things functioning.
oh, people know that we've done that before.
Right. And so
Like, that's what I'm saying,
Were
like,
you
we've
turned
done
down
these
on
things
that though?
before.
But did you come to the table and
They don't know
express
any
that?
solution. We don't step foot in the building. It's under contract. It's construction. It's not even TCO.
And there's, I think, where we get a
It's
little
not.
bit
We're not
spoiled.
allowed.
If you're
we're
not
not
allowed, then
allowed-
how the hell are the students in there?
So
Yeah.
how would you? Aha! Now we're asking correct questions,
They're
Mark.
not.
Now we're asking correct questions, Mark,
Right.
because
So do
they
they
were
have-
in there.
Do they have network and computers, and so everybody but AVs?
I'm curious of how, if you don't
So-
have TCO, how anybody's in the space.
Yeah.
Full stop. I don't care what
Great,
trade
great,
you are. Yeah.
Great question. I don't know when the TCO happened. I don't know because we were not part of the process. Like, we were kept out. Like, we're just hearing things from the inspector because the inspector knows us because they inspect our jobs
Is this a
too.
good old boys club thing?
No,
Yeah.
not for
Making
not for us.
You know,
It's a
guys are
state
good old
inspector.
boys club.
We're just being told shit.
No,
I don't
we just
know.
went down to the diner, had a cup of coffee and Danish.
We just heard
and
all this stuff.
Passed a
we just heard
$100 bill
things.
across the table, no problem.
It's
So
taken
the
care of.
fallout of this was semester started in mid-August, and every room that was a classroom was blinking the entire time up until Monday. It's fall break.
Define
Lights.
And the
We're talking like
manufacturer-
projectors. What are we talking like? Like Like just a light
every
on wall?
display flashing
Fire alarm? Yeah. Okay.
for content, HDCP stuff, network issues, things like that. And these are all network islands. It's not like IT was integrating and doing all this fancy. It's just network islands.
Love it.
Right.
Was it on Juniper
so-
systems?
No,
Doesn't matter.
they're on Netgear switches.
Something.
So,
like that.
it ended up being HDCP stuff, but they flew the manufacturer out,
Who you know
to-
well.
who we know well, who fixed the issue in a day or so, which is basically
Yeah, but that's like just log in, push this button, and you're done.
right, Mark. Why is
But
that
like-
so hard for the integrator to do?
But
And for the- But you know what? You know what happened? The integrator and consultant for synopsis was of the situation. It has to be the PCs that were given to us by WKUIT. So it's IT's problem.
Let's just all agree it's never our fault.
It's like
It's always somebody else's fault when all things construction.
No.
it's like wow. And so it's like, okay, so if I plug in this other laptop that doesn't have a WQ image on it and it still blinks, how is that an IT problem?
Owner furnished, buddy. Owner furnished.
But it wasn't owner furnished. It was just a random laptop.
It was their
So I
It was
I
their
think-
laptop.
Yeah, I think there's
owner
wholesale like construction process here.
Yes.
I want to let's shift a little bit.
How about go internal?
Here's the end of the story.
Yeah.
Is that it resulted in patient. That's
You
going
gone
to
in
get
there
bid
yet?
out. We
Tell me you've gone in
oversee the AV project process. We sign off on the basic programming, turn display on and off, hear sound, all that great stuff, cable labels. Then our team comes in and configures and programs everything
gonna
after
need to know
the
the
building's
date.
turned over to us.
We're going to need
So-
to know the date when your team goes in there.
This is the new project, Cherry Hall. This is not
Oh.
the other one.
So
So
so this project aside, Justin, have you ever rappelled down from the rafters with an extender and a Cat5 reel and an adapter with a computer and a projector to make it work?
yeah,
You have. Okay, and I think that's the part
Yeah.
of the story is I think when the time comes,
and we're allowed
we
to
all roll up our
and
sleeves.
we're allowed to.
The allowed to thing I'm not going to acknowledge.
That's the problem
Because-
with this. That's the whole
You have
problem with
weird
this
jurisdiction
project.
things. And so, but I
It's
think,
just-
is that normal for us to say, yes, push comes to shove, whether the night before or earlier in the morning before classes, it is normal for us to roll out there and get out there and put in temporary solutions. To
I've
find
got a
workarounds.
system
Is
right
that-
now that we're
that
putting in
okay?
that needs a touch panel, and we're putting the old button panel back in just to get it working because we're not done yet. I mean, they'll be fine. They'll have class
control.
on Monday. Yeah,
Live extender.
we do that all the
Adapter.
time.
So to Mark's point, about a decade ago, we had a new academic convince someone to buy one giant HV-based switch for the whole thing.
For you.
And
God,
whole
yes.
process.
We're doing that again
That's on
in
you.
the industry right now.
We fought so hard to get Apple TVs literally, but the projector only has the DVI input left, so you're never going to get audio.
Left?
And I was like, "What?"
Left.
And they go, "Yeah, it only had one HDMI input, and we used it for the system." And so
For the RMC
my
scaler we put up
my
there.
my boss and my my boss and my office mate, they met every class, every hour from January to spring break, and they were completely out of the rotation for half a semester. They took no other calls, they took on no additional work, and that's all they did was just shuffle up and down.
How
3
was it coming in
floors
late at night to
until
actually change the program?
The
on that?
integrator. No, the integrator came in at spring
Okay.
break with a parachute and bought the correct parts. So I mean, yeah, to your point, that's what we do. We come in. I can't imagine the story that Justin's telling. Obviously, there's a lot of backstory.
Like
there.
here's the thing at the very beginning, if they would have said, "Hey, we want your input," and they said that, but they wanted us to just be a fly on the wall in meetings and not speak. Like we're not allowed to speak in meetings, right? So okay, So
My personal favorite is when you get invited to the meeting and then they take your notes, but but every week you have the same 5 items.
Yep.
And you're like, but what happened last time? They're like, no, we're moving on. Like, no,
Yeah.
but you didn't.
We've
you didn't
addressed
write
that when we met with the stakeholders early on, so we're not going to go back. It's like, oh,
So
well,
we don't have-
why are we even here?
we didn't have any control or sign off. There's no control of the process, no idea of schedule, no idea if they were even late. How do we know if they're even behind? We're just seeing vans show up and they're working late, and we're adding one and one together going, we see boxes unopened in the windows. Like, we're looking in windows going, there's all these boxes there. Tomorrow's class. What are you doing? I don't know. Are they done? I don't know. That was our
I like the
viewpoint.
idea of
Like,
we
we
don't
don't,
your team
He
sitting out
is
there against
telling the,
the
truth.
glass,
We
just-
have pictures of him looking in the window.
Because the
It's like, look,
police
there's
took a
boxes.
picture of him looking in the windows.
oh, I don't care about that.
And there's
Police know
body
me
cam
there.
footage of the
That's
police
fine.
taking pictures
The
of
Yeah.
police are very familiar with Justin.
Oh yeah.
I can see that.
It's a story for another day, Chris. It's a story for another day.
So, but if we were involved and we knew the integrators and it was like some kind of relationship, just some even 10% of a relationship, and they said, "Hey, we need your help." Like, yeah, all right, we'll jump in. That's fine. It's
So
not
ha-
like,
have
oh,
you
we don't
had-
want to work. It's
You've mentioned that some of your leadership is very concerned about the public perception. Like when we've had some crazy spaces, we've had faculty that
Oh.
wrote into the newspaper about how wasteful these things have
You're
been.
kind
And
of dealing with one now anyway.
like that's where I think our leadership is like, well, what can we do to address these things? We don't want to have bad press out there around these things, and like so, I think coming from that production, like the show must go on mentality, like we want to make sure that we are not subjected to negativity in the press, whatever it is. So we want to make sure the teaching on experience happens, and I believe that the students and faculty are appreciative of that when they see us making sure it's working and going through there. So your whole process you've gone through was just gross failure at all the different project management. We removed
why would you
people that are
not want
responsible
our
for that
help?
service from the delivering of the service, which is kind of
Like,
crazy.
why would you not want our help?
Right.
I just don't. I think that because we've
we
done
know
all
better,
the work.
Justin.
Yeah, like we've done all the work for so many
And
years.
he flew in here from somewhere else, so he
That guy
must
got off
have
a
had it.
plane.
But I do.
So because they're from
helicopter.
somewhere else, they have to know more than us. They're more experienced
It's
than
true.
us. It's that
Briefcase.
whole.
There is that.
But they don't really.
got
Western doesn't know the team that they have. Like, our teams can run circles around most integrators. Like, they're A
What's
team
your
integrators.
service
I've
catalog
proved
look
it.
like, sir?
I think
don't-
every
what-
so
there you go.
often,
Yeah.
Yeah.
because I go through it through here too. Every so often, it's like they have to test the waters again.
Like, maybe
Right?
these guys
Ma-
don't know what they're doing.
Well, they're like, or the last couple of things. It's like, man, every time, and usually it's a project management process a problem where we're not brought in during discovery, so we don't hear what the needs are.
and I get
then
that happens a lot.
and
I
it
get
does,
that.
and it does. But then when we do get involved, what happens? Change order money, change order money, change order money. You guys, every time you get involved, is change order and money, and we say things like, "Well, it wouldn't have
early.
been if we were included 5 months earlier." And it's I do it's like every 5 or 6 years I have one of these, not quite this extreme, where it's like they test the waters, they go solo, the campus project management, and then they find out after the fact that, well, this is costing us a lot of money because nobody told us. Okay, please get involved earlier. It really helps us go. We do know what we're talking about.
They ask you all the things you told them
Um,
years ago.
you know, the polite ways to say, I told you so.
So Jamie, I got 2 things on that. So one, absolutely, and it seems for us every 5 years we get a project manager who decides low bid is best bid, and then about 2 years later we go, we're never doing that again, and it's a cycle, right? But I had 2 jobs, one during COVID time, one immediately after, and it was a rush job, as they all are. And someone said, well, we're going to use the same architect and the same construction management company and the same design consultants, and we're going to do it again across the street.
Yep.
And the GCs took IT out of the submittal process because, quote, that Chris guy, all he does is cause problems and cause change orders. And so we're building the second building, and we're not getting any documentation. My network team doesn't know how many switches. When are we going to get submittals? And the GC goes, oh, well, to add you to the submittal process this late in the game, that would be a change order. And my colleague in networking, he knows the game, and he goes, great.
Okay, fine.
Write it up.
See ya.
And it goes all the way up to, what is this? And they go, oh, that's the change order to make IT a part of the submittal workflow. Well, he shut that down incredibly fast. But it was one of those things where, all right, we'll play the game. We have to make it go up. It's going to come down even faster than it went up.
It's crazy.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I said. It's always these official problems.
In my experience, honestly, it's construction management buy-in to our services is that's the level of success, right?
And part of that's a good point, Chris. And part of it comes from the direction of leadership, because guess who they're right?
Yes.
I think,
but their direction
if
is coming from somewhere else, saying
don't
allow these people in; they cause problems.
Right, but like so, a PM who's maybe going through a bumpy divorce and is sitting in the passenger seat, and the construction company is driving that bus off the cliff, the wheel back to center.
There's
right?
no vested interest in this whole thing.
And that's really hypothetical. That would never happen in my case.
Sure.
So, but and you know, how hell does IT know about that, right?
No.
Well, a way that I have to deal with frequently is that because we do our own integrations, we're not actually part of the contractor's contract. So we do technically save the money, but we're outside of their sphere of control, right? And there are many times, and maybe I don't think I'm the only one, that we and our departments and our services thrive in the gray area. So your schedule ran long. Okay, we'll be here on Monday, right?
We can clean up a lot of flop.
Yes, if we're not done on the first day of class, we know what the minimum base level of use is, and then we improve on it because we own it for the rest of its life.
And you're
those
right.
Contractor doesn't have typically.
Yeah, the contractors.
But we also live in a gray area
anything.
where
They need things to be
we're
very
not
black.
on a schedule. We are not always in the sub meetings. We're not getting, and so I think that the construction phase, I've also been where the GC didn't have any idea that we were even included. They knew there was electrical. There's a T-sheet set inside of the building plans, but they didn't have to physically know it existed. So they just assumed magic was going to. It's like your mom complains all the time. Who's going to do these dishes? The magic shore elf? Well, yeah,
Of course.
we're the elf, and so I think that convolutes the
It's all about
issue a
money.
little bit. And I love living in that gray area, but man, sometimes I think that also causes our problems. And I try to recognize that with administration because I think they like the gray area too, but they hate it that there's
You have a
control.
lot of new folks that are to the game, project managers. I think we've seen a lot of turnover, like a lot of folks. And then you get folks that are coming in. Hey, I'm the new cowboy here. I'm going to save so much money on this project.
I'm going to cut all kinds of shit.
So they go into it and they know if they can just say, hey, you know what, we're working with this architectural firm. They have this in-house, blah, 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 blah. And they're just going to say, hey, we're trying to do this for the least amount of money as possible, right? So bang. Architect hears that. We're going to not involve anybody we don't need to involve. We've already set the stage. We're doing it for the least amount. How many times? We want to just fit right down the middle. We want this building to be the same price as everything else we've ever done. Never. It's always we want to. We're doing it on a budget. We don't have. Never is it we're spending more than we should.
It's got to be the best.
It's got to be the best ever. But we have no money, and so and those are happening well before any of these coordinated meetings have even kicked off. They are like in the courtship of this whole thing between these firms, and you have a PM who doesn't even know who they should be talking to on campus. They're talking to architectural firms who have all these embedded contracts with the designers and integration firms, and all they've heard is we're doing it the cheapest possible. Cool. That just gave them carte blanche to just run and do whatever the hell they want. And then they're not going to include it. And they know if I stop and ask a question, change order, it's going to come in. So, yeah, we love change orders because guess what? Ching, ching, ring a register. We'll do it all day long. However, I can also just not say anything, continue to do what I'm going to do, and just keep the lion's share of this money. So it's not in anybody's best interest to involve any of y'all because you've all experienced it already and said, oh, we're just getting more expensive.
Actually, it's now the opposite based on our project because of how inflated that building is. And I'm doing the same. I'm doing it though, and not the consultant, but it's the same people. They learn their lesson.
But they're not doing what they're doing to spite any of you all or any of us. They're doing it because they think they're being a champion
they think they're doing it fast and cheap, and and we're like screaming and waving red flags, and they're like, "You don't know what you're talking about. Just be quiet."
Because they know
there.
if they stop and involve you, it's going to be a change. It's going to bring.
But
all
we
this
could have
things
saved money.
That ship's already sailed. You weren't there at the onset of the courtship when they were out to dinner doing their things and having their construction managers meeting for them in Key Largo, where the hell it was. You weren't there.
In the meeting, in the design review meeting, I said I can remove 2,000. Know the difference. What do you mean?
Right. That's just Justin's crazy ass harebrained 80 shit.
So
he doesn't know when you're having hurricane drinks.
And he wouldn't be working at Western. He'd be making more money. Oh, I don't. Okay. Anyways,
those are awful specific.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Again.
Maybe
We got that.
I don't know. That's a different show. Maybe. Okay. Yeah. I don't know.
How do you feel about
You
it?
seem upset.
Anyway.
We're here to help, and you push us away, and we could have saved you, and you won't allow us to save you. So I don't know what else to do for you.
So we're coming down from the rafters. We're parachuting in. Cat 5 reel, adapters, maybe a projector.
We can make all that
tape.
stuff happen overnight,
Love it.
like easily in a building
But
full of
only
classrooms.
if you have TCO and you're allowed to get on prim.
But if we're not
Otherwise,
allowed-
you're outside the window with a bag of popcorn, just watching it burn.
boxes. That box isn't opened.
All right.
Oh, that's not good.
We had a job very recently, and I'm moving in to their offices wearing yellow vests and hard hats.
That's
we
this
didn't have a TCO yet.
Yeah.
And I was sitting there going, what? And they're a very powerful group of people on campus with a very firm deadline, and they'd be his office, and they go, oh, he's wearing a hard hat. It's cool. I was like,
TCOs are very political.
we didn't know.
Very
we were
political.
on a TCO for a year, and we didn't know because the building manager got let go during a restructuring, and he's on permanent. They'll go, what are you talking about? Like, oh, you were on a temporary for a year, and nobody knew.
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow,
that was a little bit wild. Obviously, that was an addition by subtraction with that person no longer being around. My favorite quote of that guy is, "We don't need no fancy lighting control system. Just give me 20 light switches in a row and some
Let's
tape."
do that.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong.
No labels.
Which one's the front?
labels.
God damn.
We had an electrician on campus who went and dutifully labeled things, but based on cardinal direction. So it said like
North,
there was like
south,
7
light.
switches. It was like northeast bank. B.
Like I gotta have a compass to
What's
like turn the damn lights on in this building.
So, we have a very large building that was opened that has a commercial lighting system, but the lighting control programmer, who will not be named, didn't want to use scenes, and so everything is the alphanumeric designator from their plans. And so the instructors don't know how to turn on the lights because
Dude,
they
that's
don't know what
malicious
load
compliance.
jbox.01d means.
Yes.
And
That's hilarious.
I said, can you imagine if my AV system just said HDMI input 2 to HDMI output 1, and I didn't say projector or laptop or PC?
Yeah.
People would riot. But for
You
some
just
reason,
described like half of higher ed.
yeah.
That they're taking
That guy just got yelled at, or girl, whoever, by their boss, and was like, "Oh yeah, I'll get the job done." Yeah. Watch this.
No, I asked him. I said, there's no submittals for lighting control. I was like, what?
There's no crying in baseball.
now.
Like it's too late in the game. Who needs submittals right now?
That was
Right.
catharsis.
Oh, no, that's a custom program. That's a change order.
Love it.
So let me ask this high-level question of everybody, for everyone on the panel here.
Oh boy.
Let's say, new construction, whatever it may be, big remodel, whatever, but it's not a classroom space. So you don't have that like classes start a week from Monday sort of thing.
Let it burn.
That's my question. Like it's an event space, it's a dorm, it's a research building, it's lab spaces, whatever it is, with the same challenges we've just discussed for the last 45 minutes.
Can't do that. It's the same. It's the same thing.
No, it's different.
How is it different?
It's just
What if it's
different.
more money? What if it's more money? What if a classroom has 6A and
Event
now
space,
it's like feature?
that could be.
Now it matters. Now it matters, Larry.
I'm just saying, like if it's an office or something like that, conference room.
So,
a Zoom call.
I think the reality of that, if you had an event space attached to your, it's probably not a good example. If you had an event space, my guess is that event space was also going to plan to be
And it's
Which was
higher
scheduled 2 years
already
ago.
than the classrooms.
Yeah.
right. So it's a bad
Exactly.
example. I think we've done staged deliveries where we've focused on prioritizing learning spaces, lab spaces, and then collaborative spaces. That's kind of the hierarchy of which we will deliver them. And if they're not all done day one, then guess who's going to be in there working during term?
Yep.
We will.
Well, I remember in our student union, we were, the integrator wasn't done. We were kind of helping them because we were involved in all of that good stuff. And, the event for opening the building. I remember myself and Matt were there that night running the event for them to make sure no screens blinked, no audio dropped out. We were there. We were bought in. You tell us we don't want you here. Okay.
Malicious compliance.
We
Yes.
got what you asked for. Malicious compliance. In the back closet, pushing buttons on the rack, and I was out there with a laptop.
Remote routing system.
Yeah, we were
Call it in, text it.
we were texting each
HDMI 1 to output 3, go.
4, 5, 6, go.
other. Change over to the other input now.
Give me
Yeah,
a
it was-
slow fade, star wipe. What the hell's going on back
It
there?
wasn't problems happen that were perceived. All good.
There we go.
So, anyways,
Summarize.
It sounds like
Your AI component. please.
fear of depends what we do. So
Got down to if you're legally allowed and you have occupancy,
and you have buy
go ahead.
and you have
If
buy
not,
And if no one's looking,
no one's looking. If you have buy-in, other than that, dress it in black and rappel down from the ceiling and plan accordingly.
Or carry a briefcase and a clipboard.
Or
You know what
yeah,
allows-
to make all this not happen, fly in with a briefcase and a clipboard and convince people you know what you're talking about. Meet them in Key Largo.
like as a different person,
Do you
I'd be like, oh,
a briefcase
you're
carries a lot of weight.
Mustache.
This is my cousin Schmuster.
It would be easier to just
have a
change your
mustache.
shirt. Just
Like-
come in with,
This
consultant. You
Yeah.
look like the guy
Table
from
I have a
IT.
t-shirt that says
No,
consultant.
not me. I'm
I'm
a
the
consultant.
AV consultant. That is, Jamie, that would be the only way that we could have helped. Is like if we would have like jumped the integrator and stole their jerseys,
Like
did the laundry
They
first,
wear
then put them
jerseys.
on,
Okay.
and then we jump
So-
in.
Coming in off
To
the
the-
bench, number
I'm
22. Get in
Pretty
there.
Yeah,
sure
we're coming on off
that
the
the
bench.
integrator,
Like, don't you look familiar? I'm the other integrator. Like, we're the A team from Atlanta.
the integrator's
Oh,
probably
yeah.
looking at you like, dude,
Who are these
Here's my
Don't
tools. Here's my shirt. I'll be at the diner.
I'm sure they were probably
Tell
looking
me
for
when
help.
you clock out so that I
all
can turn
over
it in.
man, yeah.
They were. I guarantee you they wanted our help. Guarantee you they wanted our help.
Oh man.
I'm picturing Justin in tearaway cargo pants, so he can just quick change.
Let's go. You know,
It's the
We can do
skinny
it,
jeans
man.
under that that's kind
we're
of
not.
gross.
We're not scared to work now. We can't be, disrespected.
Talking
And
about
Wow.
ethics
put-
now. Come
and
on,
pushed
now.
All about
away.
respect now.
We've all
Ethics
got a
of AV
line.
installations.
Yeah.
All right. Feel good about that, Chris? You got your summary? AI summary. Put that
Yeah,
out.
we'll say I summarize that. I'll pump that into Zoom. We'll get a summary.
It's diapers. It depends.
Okay.
All right. Well, we're going to take a quick break since we solved that one. We're going to take a quick break. Independent Amalgamated, seasonal sponsor.
Season.
Oh, it's this.
And then we're going to come back. We're going to talk about some multi-purpose spaces
Okay,
and some of the
fine.
nonsense going on there.
This fall, your AV system got a whole lot cozier. Introducing the independent amalgamated limited edition pumpkin spice AV collection. Picture this: rich amber LEDs, cinnamon tinted cable jackets, and the unmistakable aroma of nutmeg wafting from your lavalier mic every time you clip it on. From presentation switchers that crunch like piles of fallen leaves when you change sources, to cameras that autofocus only on flannel. This season, your classroom and meeting rooms aren't just smart, they're deliciously festive. But act fast. This pumpkin spice gear is available through November or until the first snowfall. Pumpkin Spice AV Fall into better conference. From independent amalgamated, not compatible with summer firmware, may cause sudden cravings for pie. Use in moderation, please.
Now hold on.
Flannel Conan's so stupid.
First
I was
snowfall
like,
here last week.
didn't
by the
it
way.
already
So-
snow there?
Flannel. Yeah, I was watching your football game. I was like, is this last year's game? Is that?
No.
So we were.
Chris was like,
called
no. What?
We get it once a year, and it shuts the entire city down because no
Yes,
one
sir.
can drive.
They can't drive in the summer.
All right, yeah.
So for our short closer topic here,
Put a timer on this one.
Gonna put a timer on this one. How many things
What are
do
we
have to
talking
do?
about? Where's my notes?
Your
We want-
most
want-
recent project headache.
What?
I thought that was just the thing that we just did.
No, we're not doing that again.
Hold on, give me- So the question is, what do we do about those fun kind of multi-use spaces? Not a multi-purpose space in the traditional sense, but like a multi-use space where you're like, you know what? This is a nice big auditorium. They got comfortable seating here. Let's do some surround sound. Or maybe you get it the other direction where somebody says, hey, since this is our nice big auditorium, we want to do movie nights. We want movie audio in here. Let's get some cinema experience in here. Never mind, you're just using a regular projector and all that fun stuff. But we've all done it. We've all done it different ways. Sometimes it's our idea. Sometimes it's not our idea. And sometimes
It's never
we
our idea.
have to fix one. Well, it has been. Sometimes we have to fix stuff, kind of make it work better or whatever. So what's our approach on this?
Easy. So unless you are a film nerd, film studies, or using one of those keywords, and you actually come from that said department that I know you do that shit,
And you
you
still
say you
suck
want
at
surround sound, you're getting speakers everywhere, and you're not going to know
it.
the
We call that
difference.
surrounded
Easy.
by sound.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like you just want surround sound. You want round speakers around you. Yeah.
Mhm.
But I need it to be surround sound.
What's the other one?
How many of y'all raise
There it is.
full on
Trying to get the thing on the screen.
surround
There we go.
sound decoded system and whatever point, whatever it is, and technically it all works. And then what shows up the very first day that is expected to be in every one of those speakers? I just put in the 1/8-inch
Oh,
connector.
That's why
Why
you
is
do.
it not coming out all these things?
That's why you do
and then
mono
end up having to
everywhere.
have this conversation about encoding and
Everybody's
decoding
happy.
and all, and they're all just like, You AV
What?
guys making
But
things way complicated again.
But I just buy my $500 receiver and
Right. I put it
that
in
works at home.
straight or pass-through mode, and it all just comes out everywhere.
PCM, Mark.
Yeah.
PCM.
And so, and then you talk to like your programmer, and you're like, it's doing what it's supposed to be doing. It decodes the surround sound and it passes
If
everything
the
through
surround
the
sound's
distiller.
not there,
Right,
then
it's
it does what it does.
exactly.
So
But
it's-
clients have zero awareness of that, and they expect everything to be everywhere all the time because if they can see it, it better be on and working.
and that's what we give them. You just they don't care if they hear the elephant out of this speaker and the giraffe out of that one. They just
You want
want
to hear it out of all of them everywhere.
So
that's easy.
Mark, we have this exact situation, and it was the art history department and the film department need to share a space because they both like high quality projection. Not my words. And we had that exact situation you described about where's my laptop, where's this, and it was in the design criteria that the users have the ability to change the decoding mode, and there were this many presets.
Whoa!
Integrator just said not doing
Completely the right answer.
Take the money. F you.
and they did, that feature does not exist to this day. And
But are
I
the
am
buttons there?
no, 'cause they never
Damn
wrote them.
It doesn't do anything.
That's like the monitor thing. Oh, you need more in your how's that sound? Oh, good. Yeah, I didn't do anything. Yeah.
So this winter we're ripping the whole thing out, and the film department is buying their own surround sound processor, a consumer level unit.
Perfect.
And I said, I'm not going to try to control it because I'm not going to do it right. My responsibility ends at this HDMI cable. Like, y'all choose your own adventure is
I mean,
what I've told them.
Do you ever go, and Justin, this is like your platform here, but do you ever go down the accessibility road in these surround sound rooms? Like, why would we want to have one space have access to a certain content and another space not?
No, because I
have
lied
access
to him.
Maybe
Like
even
sort of.
And now we
hard
know why they
stereo
don't want
Like
you
I just-
there.
Do we want this side to have a different experience than that side of the auditorium? Is that a thing?
No, it is, you're right. It is a thing, Mark. But I mean, that gets into audio coverage uniformity standards. You throw in ADA stuff. You can mitigate that because of hearing assistance. I mean, that's mono. So, I mean, that doesn't matter. It's just, I've never had that argument because if somebody brings it up, it's usually in a higher end space. It's been brought up 3 or 4 times on our campus. We've done it 3 times in each space and we have one actual surround sound out of the 3. The others is just,
Speakers blowing out sound
Around
everywhere.
the sound.
yeah, like, and they're all happy with everything they got.
Because to them, they're like, oh, cool. Everybody, they're hearing it.
But we force mono on certain sources. The only one that does have true surround sound is like
yeah,
Blu-ray
I think
player
we've all done that weird thing.
Even if you
Yeah,
tried
that's
to
it.
do it with every source, the PCs don't all. Yeah, the
Yeah,
PCs
we have to
don't
force
all
it.
reliably output multi-channel. Transmission
No.
systems, HD based AV over repeat, don't all reliably output multi-channel.
they're capable of it.
Some
It
are.
all depends on the
some aren't.
source.
Depends on how it's done.
Yeah.
So
So for those of you who do that, you are doing it. Where does that decoder sit in your chain? But this is an important question. I know, like under the hood,
Like,
where you have
right
that
before the
decoder.
amp?
yeah, it's
You're doing it for the
decoder
amp?
out into the amplifier.
I know.
Before the
Right,
DSP.
for the amp.
I do
Yeah,
mine
before the
before the
DSP.
DSP and not
Yeah.
at the last link. 'Cause I think that's important because if you do that, it gets all wacky. Go ahead, Chris. Get in there.
DSP most and pretty much across the board too. DSPs do not maintain the surround sound timing if you're doing that.
Right, and that's where you get into cheating it. And this is
Yeah.
like what
Okay.
I'm talking about. Like this is like unless you get into a full certified thing, which I'm not going down that route. We don't have time to go.
So I
down
did
that
one
road right
room that way with a cinema processor, with the cinema amplifiers, with the cinema speaker cabinets, all that stuff. But only, and they know this, that comes from the Blu-ray player. So that chain all the way through is certified. Anything else you do in there, because most of them just go in and run.
Matt, together, Chris, you were
And then
asking.
blacks
That was
out,
like
you can't
last
watch it.
year. I remember
years
that
ago.
shit.
Yeah, we looked at it.
3 years
Yeah.
ago? God, time flies.
This was
Okay, so, Chris, I want to ask you though, if in that scenario, the number one part of this question was multi-purpose space. For us, a multi-purpose space has a microphone.
I don't.
Yep.
I don't mix surround sound with multi-purpose. So I take that back. Like that was the whole start of this conversation. The surround
Redacting
sound
everything said
done.
for the last 5 minutes.
Well, I forgot that set up as a theater. It's very.
They sure do.
Not
Theaters
this,
need mics.
not this one. This one
So
doesn't.
yeah, so Chris, to your point, so I have two spaces where we've deliberately in recent years done some limitations here, so it will work this way in this sort of scenario. The other one, which is a big auditorium, and this was, hey, the plumbing was there, we put the speakers in, all that. We did it with you have to deliberately switch to movie mode to get surround, because otherwise you get two channels. So to your question, when you're in movie mode, you get no microphones because you're making that call to we're going to movie mode. A lot of stuff turns off. When you're in class mode, you get the more traditional. You get two channels up front, your microphones, your assistant listening, all that stuff. So actually, assistant listening does work during movie mode because it just takes mono.
Just put in regular voice.
Yes,
lift,
and that
be
was
done with it.
what we found though. Well, what we found though, interestingly enough, is a lot of the processors, even when you're looping through, I'll turn all the processing off and you're still going through there. There's that slight amount of latency that's induced, you do when you're doing any sort of production. You can see the iMag screen, but you can see the person with the mic, and you're there's this weird, what is a eighth of a second difference in my brain's going weird because I can see it. Anyone farther back doesn't care, but if you're close enough and you can see, you're what's happening? That happens all the time if you can see the person on the screen because of that induced latency with the processing.
And
so
that's,
don't
and
ever do
that's
that.
calls out that differentiation of where you sit in that environment it's not equal, right? You have these varying experiences based on where you chose to sit in a space.
Middle.
Because they're
Middle.
all, but that's
Middle.
also a classroom. It's multi-purpose, but it's also a classroom. And so it never, I don't know, we've dumbed them down more often than not.
Okay, so I'm coming to you guys from my theater here in my house.
5-1.
We've all done the surround sound.
Am I in every
calibration.
one of your speakers right now? I better be.
Please.
Yeah.
Gotta be.
He's stereo.
Yeah, multi-mono,
Like
right here and
Dustin
right here,
said.
buddy.
Exactly. That's all audio is.
He's gonna start flexing in a minute. Right here and right here.
Like Justin said, middle, right? Even
Middle.
the Odyssey, Dirac, whatever calibration you do, it only works for one seat, right? It'll average out the others, but there is one perfect seat where everything's in
It's like a group of 4 in the movie theaters that I've tested. I've got my 4 seats.
Middle
right in the middle.
Hey, buddy,
Pauses it right
Yeah,
the movie goes over.
I'm gonna hold this over here from. Just
We
don't-
only
don't
have 3
fuck me.
seats, Justin, so I'm obviously just
3,
gonna stop.
nice. So
Clearly, I'm
your
not-
sample size is low, so you're for one. I get it. Yeah, that makes sense.
Hey, DINK, baby. The only way to live.
Oh man. Okay.
That's Justin's method too.
Yeah.
Yep.
So I think
And
Sometimes.
27 dogs.
so.
Sometimes
You brought up that monophonic thing before.
the monophonic who
All of it. Stereo or mono?
Monorail?
it depends on the space.
Oh, you mean in our
we've
surround sound spaces? It's
successfully-
mono everywhere. Look at all this mono.
Mono and mono here. Are we?
We've successfully in a couple of
Does stereo belong
large
in teaching
auditoriums,
space? Yes or no?
350 seats.
Say it again, Mark.
We have stereo, true stereo.
Does true stereo belong in teaching learning space?
Depends on the space.
Oh man,
most of the time.
90% of my classrooms are 8-ohm stereo.
Really?
Oh, you work at Oregon State.
Got that Pacific money going there.
So yeah, I think we do because I think that's an easy deployment. I don't think it's designed for left, right, making sure. And we're not listening to the Beatles and these
You're
No.
not?
things. We're not
Which
trying
was
to do
recorded
that.
in mono, by the way.
Right, exactly. And then
We have asbestos in the ceiling, so we can only put speakers in the sheetrock walls.
Yeah.
So we
It's
just don't
easy,
do 70 volt.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
easy to do that. So, but are you intentionally? No, we're going to make sure we're designing around stereo to preserve the stereo space.
No, it was absolutely path of least resistance. Quite frankly, there were stereo speakers hung in the rooms when I got the job. So when we're upgrading, we're like, what are we doing? Well, they're JBLs, they still work. Keep going.
Or they'll live forever. Yeah.
Once a year, I'll get a bee in my bonnet and go check both channels. I go, that's why I don't do these tests, and I just walk away.
No, it's interesting. I didn't. Are there people who are adamant like, no, we have got to have stereo because my content is going to be stereo, and I want to lift half the class
Yeah.
I care more about.
We have
right out the
we have
clouds,
a
only the
master's
snare.
in video game design and programming, and no,
Sounds
it's
like a
a
lab to me.
school. It's its own thing, and
Yep. But they're in their own secured environment. Do not let those people
yes,
out of there.
these people are so crazy. They once told me that they can see the latency on the screen from too long of an HDMI cable. I said,
Yeah.
you're wasting your superpowers.
Mountain
But
Dew and
like
Doritos
all
are crazy.
modern audio systems, every classroom, mono 7, they were in that system for 2 years. They go, Chris, this Crestron NVX thing is programmed wrong. Everything is mono. And I was like, nope,
Intentional.
it's doing exactly what it should. We had to rip it all out and give them full range stereo with 2 subwoofers in every classroom in the ceiling so that they could have stereo quality to program the game by not being able to program stereo stuff.
Ooh, I would have went down that physics road and battled that fight.
Yeah, you can't tell me
I
that
lost the
subwoofer
fight,
can.
Justin.
I
I
would've-
wasn't going to win this. Like once
I would have
once the
mathed that
latency
out.
horse-
I would have mathed
Why?
that out.
It doesn't work like
Because-
that. No.
Look.
Physics, bro.
At some point,
Physics.
just give it.
Right, no,
They're
Yeah,
paying for it.
You gotta
Yep.
choose your battle.
Like they asked for
Oh,
it. They came up with
Principle
the
of the
coin.
thing.
If they pay
No.
for it, I'll give it to him. But I'm still going to
I
math that out.
told
and be like,
lots of
that's
people like
not how
this is a
physics
terrible
works.
idea. That's not really how it works. But
Jamie, why wouldn't you do the full
I
range
normally do.
component
See,
and
that's
still
the thing.
And roll it
Because-
off like 100.
roll it up like 50?
Roll it off at a-
We had when we had a physical media deck, and when we were running analog audio out of the computers, and there was real left and right. And when you watched YouTube videos, there was really left and right. I did have a set of stereo speakers up front, and then voice lift mono up USB, and then the speakerphone in and out of the computers in order to do conferencing. We don't let them switch from one USB stream to the other. Like they get speakerphone one so that they can use it in Teams, Zooms, whatever. That's all mono all the time. So it's no having that separation with no physical media player doesn't matter anymore. And so that's where it really starts getting goofy. Is like, well, that's great. You want stereo, except it only comes out of your computer mono anyway. So whatever. And we go about put on headphones. You want that? Put on headphones.
Aren't headphones dual mono? Didn't I read that somewhere that they're not actually stereo?
Depends.
Depends on what they're plugged into.
The entire world is mono.
Yeah, everything. Is
So, yeah,
That's true. I'm mono. Good point.
I used to be.
just make it up in stereo.
Why?
Actually, I have a set of stereo headphones back here, and sometimes it's weird just listening to music when it's true stereo. You're like, oh my, where the? Oh, okay, the song. All right, I got it. Yeah, I'm good now. Is my headphone? No,
recalibrate?
we're good. Yeah.
Okay. Dirty little
Bam.
secret. It's all mono.
There it is. We
There you
fixed
go.
that too.
Got to the end of it, Chris. We did it. Nice short show.
That's right. So you answered all the questions, solved all the problems.
Got to the bottom of it. Got to the root of all these problems. So,
Well, I
Congratulations,
think this
everybody.
is a good opportunity for us to shut the heck up and get out of here.
yep. Go back. Get out of here.
See
Shut
you.
down.
Bye.
Anyway,
Well, I mean, you can sleep right now.
Well.
Got this whole thing.
yeah.
Let's
Anyway,
just
we'll be
everybody
back,
stare at each other awkwardly.
No, next week we're at ETC. We don't know what we're doing next week. We'll figure it out.
I know exactly what we're doing next. Oh, Chris, I'm driving. I'm not flying, by the way.
Well, we've managed to ruin yet another episode of AV SuperFriends Off the Rails. You can contact us with questions, topic ideas, or general complaints at mailbag@avsuperfriends.com. If you complain loud enough, we might just invite you on the show.
Nice work, everyone. Sharp broadcast. Really good. Everyone on the floor as well. Really a lot of hustle. I liked it.
The opinions expressed by the AV SuperFriends are solely those of the individuals and do not represent their respective institutions, organizations, companies, or clients.